Hey podcasters, we're here, the ladies of Rewatch and Wine, and I'm Rhea.
Champagne.
Reva.
And Lynn.
And we're here to give you our book to movie adaptation of The Last Thing He Wanted.
Okay. Who wants to start with that?
Well, before we start with the adaptation, Rhea, I'm drinking this for you. The Stella Rosa. It's the Moscato d'Asti. I was looking at the calories earlier and I got excited. I thought the whole bottle had the calories, but it's per glass. And I was like, oh.
Per glass. A lot.
But not bad though. But per glass, it's, 110 calories. So, not like a seltzer. Not bad. Anyways, but the taste of it is actually very good. It's not super sweet. It's refreshing. I like it.
So I'm on 350 then. This is 350 calories so far today. Okay. The Last Thing He Wanted was written by Joan Didion.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. So we can get started with the book, and then we will just move on to the movie. And anybody want to start with?
That's on Netflix.
The book, yes, on Netflix. This book was. I felt like it was a nice story, but it was a struggle for me. I'm not actually sure I completely understood everything that went on.
Yep, not the only one.
Okay, good. I was like,
Yeah.
I got some of it, but then I was lost. I just felt like I kept rereading the same thing a few times.
Several times. So this is another one that I listened to because I was listening to it while I was taking a road trip with my husband to New York, and the last 14 chapters, or 10 chapters, I listened to probably 4 times each because the book ended and I was like, am I stupid? Because there's no way I can listen to something this many times and still have no idea like what happening. Like, some little things. She went to help her father out. There's little things that you picked up on, but the entire story, I don't understand the why, the what, the nothing. It's very hard for me.
I feel we've had this issue before on other books. I believe for me, this takes the cake though. I can't. I don't know what I read. Like you said, I picked up on certain keys. Like you said, she helped her father. She went to a different country. She,
Had a daughter.
Was a journalist. And
Right.
She was a journalist. Yes, she
that
was.
literally was all I picked up too. So you guys are not alone on this because I literally it was like I had an auctioneer in my head and I was just tuning it out. And then literally at the end, I was like, oh, it's over? Well, crap. I didn't remember anything.
yeah.
Right. I was trying to figure out if I dozed off. Did I fall asleep? I'm like, Dennis, was I sleeping? He's like, no. I don't understand the book. And the thing that bothered me the most is because the little pieces that you do pick up on could make for a great story if it made sense. But it was just...
I zoned out a lot.
We all know how to braid, right? So if you could just tie it all together a little bit more neatly, it would have made more sense to me. I was just like, no, flip the other one and then the other one, then squeeze it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I felt like they went from chapter 1 to chapter 5, back to chapter 2 to chapter 10. I just felt like it was all over the place.
Right. But there are stories that do that, right? But you still, at the end,
can follow.
It comes together and you're like, oh my gosh, I really like that.
Right.
I fully was putting my money in like the basket for the movie to like tie the book together because I missed everything in the book. It's like it was like zigzag, boom, 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 and I missed the whole book. So I was like, all right, well, maybe when I get to the movie, the book will actually make sense because they'll be doing flashbacks and forward and this and that. So I was like looking forward to watching this movie because the book was like,
no. Did it make sense?
No.
Both.
I was so disappointed because I'm with you, Lynn. I just felt like once I watched this movie, I was like, I'm gonna be able to talk about this because it's gonna reel it in for me and it's gonna put it all together and I'm gonna understand what the book was actually about. But I'm sitting there watching, and as usual, I hit pause to see how much longer I have to watch the movie.
It's like,
Well,
well,
you know why? Because
you said 1 minute and 30 seconds. You're like, what? Like, I just started this? Like,
I got through like half, and the first half, I was a snooze fest to me.
Yeah.
I had to pause it, and then I was watching it later at night, and I said, well, you know what? Since I missed 100% of the book, and the first half of the movie, I missed that whole thing.
Yeah.
I am not going to continue watching this at night when I'm about to doze off. So I'm going to wait and like watch the rest in the middle of the day when I'm awake. Took my afternoon nap. Nope, didn't make it to that either. I had to rewatch it again. I was like, God.
I think the story was silly, right? Because I'm trying to gather, so I'm trying to have a meaningful conversation about the storyline, but like this passionate journalist who just was all trying to resolve these corrupt things. Like, I feel like I got that much out of it, right? She's trying to expose these stories. But then she turns around to do an arms deal with her dad, who she had no relationship with and was clearly had no connection with. But you put yourself out there to do illegal activity, which, by the way, you've been trying to expose, it sounds like, for years.
Exactly.
So it didn't come together because I'm like, are you trying to be sneaky because you're trying to get on the inside and really get this story? But that wasn't even the case. And nothing made sense. It was just dumb.
Yeah. Nothing.
And then, like, when she decided to stay so she went from, like, Costa Rica to Antigua, and I was like, okay, like, that's her way of getting back home to her daughter. This way she could actually, like, build that relationship back since it was a little tarnished. And then she decided to stay. And I'm like, well, what? You literally just fled the country. Right. They were about to kill you, and you were so glad to escape, but you went to another island and stayed.
It makes no sense.
So, and, like, you freaking left your daughter to do something for a man. Yeah, he's your dad, but you didn't even like him.
Right.
Like, I was like, what in the... I feel like I really want to rewrite this myself and make it a little bit more interesting.
It probably could.
Just ridiculous.
Yeah, it was bad. The
yeah.
story was horrible, so the movie couldn't be successful, and I don't care about that star-studded cast.
Well, that's what I was like, wow.
How did that attract them? How?
Yeah. Unless they did so much editing and cutting of scenes that they weren't in it, to put them in it more. I don't know, but I'm thinking to myself, yeah, okay, I'm not a star, so I can't really say what I would do, but I think that what I would do if I read that, I don't even want to be in something I don't understand, do I? I don't even understand it.
The thing is that the key points that I did pick up in the book were actually in the movie. So, I picked up both. For some reason, it kind of stuck in my head. And the star-studded cast, when I started watching the movie, I just was like, okay, obviously, this must have some great content because they got all these major celebrities. And I'm just like, why? Why would y'all waste your time?
Right. I was like, oh, Ben Affleck. Oh, okay. It's going to pick up. It's going to be great. Disappointed.
I didn't even make a connection on the death. Like, I didn't even make that connection. I think, Treva, we talked about a little bit. You were asking me how far. I was like, I'm only halfway. Like, I was halfway through the movie for 2 weeks. I couldn't get past it. And then I'm like, okay, Ray, you got to do this today because you guys are recording. I'm like, what the heck? Like, I don't even get it.
I was so confused because in the book, I thought Treat Morrison was, Ben Affleck's character. I thought he was in the end of the book upset because he missed these things and he let her die. But maybe that was Edie's character or whatever his name is. Edie got that Jones, the black guy. Like, at the end of the book, there was this character that was saying, oh, I should have caught on to this and I should have remembered this and I should have done this. Like, he should have picked up on all the stuff that was happening so that she wouldn't die. And I thought that was supposed to be Ben Affleck, but then in the movie, he was the one that killed her. So
Right, that's what I was saying. I was so confused.
I don't know. Do you guys know?
Sorry, Champagne. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you're good.
Oh.
I mean, I don't remember Anne Hathaway's character dying in the book.
No, I do.
Yeah, I do.
I didn't remember it either. I was like, Katrina was like,
Did she die?
I was like, she died? Oh,
Right.
They were talking in what is that, third person, or I don't know.
Yeah.
It was, and he was saying, and it was like the thoughts of the man who I thought was helping her that said, I should have noticed when this person did this. In hindsight, I should have noticed this, and he should have noticed this, and he should have noticed this. And he didn't realize it until he saw the blood on her white dress when she was going down or something like that. So I thought this was a guy feeling guilty because he could have protected her because he was blindsided. So I thought that was going to be Ben Affleck's role. So I was completely confused when Ben Affleck was the one that shot her. So now I'm wondering if that was the black guy's role.
I
At
think
the end, he was talking to authorities, so maybe it was him that was trying to protect her. I don't know.
But wait, Treat in the book died. I thought he was the one that got shot. That's why I was confused when Anne Hathaway was shot, because in the book, Treat dies.
He did die at a later date. He suffered from something, but he was upset. I don't know. I don't know.
Like the whole thing was like a setup. Like they thought they were going in to kill somebody else, and then they end up shooting Treat.
So that's how I kind of remembered it too. That's why I was lost when she was just like, and then she died, and I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, see, I was fully under the impression that she died in the book.
Yeah, I wasn't at all.
Because they were talking about the blood coming from her white shirt.
For some reason, in my mind, she just kind of was like chilling there on the beach. And
why don't you guys read the book?
Negative. That's
After you.
I'm not reading it.
Negative.
She did die in the book, but then in the movie, like, why was she stuffing all of that stuff in her bra? Because did she know she was going to get shot? Did it protect her? Did she really not die? I don't know.
She only had one breast.
Yeah, she had one boobie.
So she was putting the
Tissue remember she had breast cancer.
Yeah.
Remember
the scene when like they were in bed naked? I was like, oh, she had a my vasectomy on one side. Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay, and the scar went from like breastbone all around her ribs, and I was just like, that's a serious like scar.
Which
like, excuse me.
Where did that come from in the story?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, because if you guys remember in the beginning of the movie when she was in the story, when she was first arguing with her dad, when he like kind of tricked her into meeting him, although she still didn't have to go meet him. And he kind of was criticizing her about, what kind of person she was. And she was just like, I don't know. I'm a single mom. I raised myself. I survived breast cancer. But she was going through all the things that she had been through without her dad.
I remember that. Yeah. Right.
That was a good point. I don't remember that, but yeah. I remember that conversation. I don't remember all the details because I said.
She broke it all the way down. Yeah. She broke it all the way down.
I got right for once.
Right. Obviously, I could survive. I did all this kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I mean, it was a confusing book. I don't even know what else to say about it.
Yeah.
Just
at least I don't think the movie was as confusing as it just to me was just stupid. I mean, I think the movie made it easier to follow what was going on, but it was just still stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know how like Netflix got on board with making this movie because I'm just like, I mean, I get they have like a whole section of books to movies, book to TV shows, and I get that. And then the star-studded cast that was in it, and it was just like, we need to fill, I guess, slots and fill up the repertoire of streaming movies, and let's just make this one. Because I'm like, there's a bunch. I mean, like, I know plenty of artists that I would rather see, authors, that I would rather see their books made to movies. And I don't know why Netflix.
I mean, I'd like to see mine. I was
just Trina. And I'm finishing mine to send forward because, I mean, I'm just like, good grief. I just don't get it.
I don't get it either.
It's
like
not entertaining.
I looked at some reviews, and there were so many people that talked about how they loved the book, and she's a brilliant writer, and blah 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 blah. I just might be dumb.
Maybe it's just not our, like, I mean, we have different likes and genres, but like,
it's not
maybe we're just not into this genre of nothingness.
But I am into that conspiracy theory. I mean, we are. I love that type of mystery, crime, conspiracy theory. This just didn't make any sense to me. And you know what? All the four of us have lots of different tastes in books, right? Mm-hmm. And the fact that not one of us understood this or enjoyed it, tells me that this is some garbage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Poo-poo.
And in Netflix's defense, well, not in their defense, because they have a lot of crap movies on there. So my blame is to the star-studded actors. Like, why? I don't understand why you would even, especially after reading the script. It's like, what? I felt like the director or the producer or whoever had to give them more knowledge about the background of this that wasn't in the book either. I just feel like they had to pull them to the side, like, listen, this is why this is happening. Well, guess what? You need to tell us that too. Because
they were doing like their script reading, they set out together, and the director was like, this is what I'm going for.
Right.
But he needs to tell us what he was going for so we can understand it too.
Exactly.
Right. Some sort of scene setting, stage setting, something. Because I was like, I don't even know what's happening.
Exactly.
But y'all ready to
rate the makeup was amazing because Anne Hathaway's like skin is actually pretty clear, but like the makeup that she had on to like look more pigmented and all that was great. Mm-hmm. And
you know what? I actually think she nailed the role. Like, to me, this was a different role for me to see her in, and I actually think she did a great job as this desperate, passionate journalist, you know, grinding her way, trying to solve these stories. I thought she did a great job, and I think her look was great too. I agree, Lynn.
Yeah. I was just thinking, like, you know, the typewriters that were in there and all those things were like kind of nostalgic. So I was enjoying like the scenes and like the makeup that was done and all those like factors. Not even paying attention to the movie, but I was looking at like, you know, Rosie Perez.
Yeah.
Having her talk normal. I was just like, okay, look at you. You can't do that.
But why did Anne always have to have that little scarf wrapped around her arm thing? Like, I was like,
yeah.
If I see that scarf in one more scene, guess I was the style then. But I'm like, yeah, I don't understand. The scarf over top of a suit jacket.
And it was based in like 80s, right?
Yeah.
For me, it doesn't really matter how old the book is. If you are making the movie for 2020, you may have to shift the storyline just a little bit, just a little teeny bit, to get our interest. And I just feel like for me, coming off of like House of Cards and Scandal and all of these types of things, you just needed to make this movie with a little more oomph.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that they need to modernize it. I mean, the setting in the 80s I was okay with. The storyline just didn't make any sense. I mean, they were talking about the Iran-Contra hearing. And you can make a great movie about the Iran-Contra hearings, right? You can make a great movie about the scandals of the Reagan administration. So I just think the story, it started off garbage. Like, so you just can't make a movie from a garbage storyline to me. I don't know.
I actually don't. I think it was weird, but I don't think it started off bad if, again, you found a way
to weave it
all back together.
Yeah.
I was just waiting for, like, when I was reading that book, I was thinking, like, okay, like, she thinks her dad's cuckoo, but her dad's really going to do something. And, you know, she's going to figure out some way and she's going to get caught up in this. But in the same time, she's going to expose them when she exposed her dad. And then it'll all come together. And then, you know, whatever happened with her is fine. But it just needed to come together.
And it didn't make sense, her going out there to sell arms or whatever the case is. And they sold her or paid her in drugs. And then they told her to get back on the plane and she didn't. I'm like, what person? You just got scammed, basically. Get your happy, lollygaggy behind back on the plane because you don't know what you're doing.
And go home. Like, go home.
Go home. This is not your element. I don't understand. It doesn't
y'all wouldn't have to tell me twice. I'd have been like, all right, deuces.
Basically. Y'all keep all this.
Because honestly, even if you felt some kind of way about getting on the plane, like, you know, I might not make it home. you ain't making home anyway. Your odds are better in the air on our side of town. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Don't.
You ready to rate this adaptation?
I'm ready to rate it. I mean, I thought the adaptation was honestly, it would get a full glass from me because I think it was right on point. I just thought it was just dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. The adaptation has to get a full glass for me also, but it was just some garbage.
It was equally retarded, equally confusing, and equally a waste of my time, but full glass.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give it a full glass. Also, it was just as boring as the book, so straight on through to me.
Right.
Full glass.
So this gets an unenthusiastic full bottle. I mean,
Full bottle. Full bottle. We still got to do my dance because we got a full bottle.
Unfortunately. Yay.
Full bottle for some garbage movie.
Came
Full
to
bottle for some garbage book.
Right.
Just do not confuse the enthusiasm about a full glass as a read it.
Yeah, I'm not recommending this for anybody.
For nobody.
I mean, no, I'm not going to say that. Read it, watch it, tell us if you feel the same. I mean, I know
Maybe we missed something.
you're never going to get back, but try it.
Yeah.
Try it.
Yeah, just, let us know if you can weave it together, because I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm over it.
Me too. Thank God this is over.
Right.
Pretty much.
In a minute. So thank God.
All right, well, check us out on Instagram.
Anyway,
we got a great
I was just saying, that's it. You got it. Full glass from Rewatch and Wine.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Follow us
On
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Rewatch Wine.
Where you at?